Alright, Archero 2, the May suggestions are up, and I figure it would be a better opportunity to go over the top 3 and just kind of see what they're all about. Now, if you don't know, people go in, they put suggestions, these suggestions get upvoted, and then by the end of the month, they get sent over to the devs, they look at it, and possibly they might make a tweak in our favor. Sometimes they shut them down, like the revive rune in the arena. People wanted to get rid of that, and they're like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But figure top 3 here, let's see what they are and talk about them a little bit and what my thoughts would be of why these should get changed. The top post is from Full Goat, and if you didn't know, this is another Archero 2 content creator, so check them out if you can. But they go on to say that the whole Sgrade Exchange system is pretty much a joke. So if you haven't used this system yet, the way it's going to work is once you go and get a mythic piece of gear, now you're going to unlock this S-grade swap. And pretty much you go and you pick an S-grade piece that's at Epic, and with 10 of these swapping orbs, you can change it to anything else with inside that set. And I think they make a valid point here of let's make it where we can go and take that, let's say, dragon crossbow there and turn it into any other piece of gear that we want. And by the way, by going and changing something into a weapon, it's double the cost there, at least for it was at Epic. Instead of 10, it was 20 swapping orbs. So I really think they do need to allow us just to go and say, hey, I want to take this piece and change it into this other set. And I really do believe that no matter what the rarity is, it should only cost 10 of these swapping orbs. I think when I looked at it, I'd take a piece of chaotic into something else, it was like 250 for a non-weapon. So that's pretty crazy given the fact that we can only get one of these things a week for 3,600 points, or 10 of them for 36,000, or resorting over to going and spending $100 on the pack there just to take one epic and turn it into another S-grade. So I really hope they listen on this one and make the change, because if they don't, it really isn't even worth it to have this whole S-grade swap. Kind of just toss it away and never use it again. The second most updated suggestion was from Pear Dryer, and this is about the teleporting enemies. You ever play a game, you're just sitting there and then all of a sudden something just pops up right underneath you and kills you? That's what this is all about. And there's numerous enemies that'll do this, from bats to worms. I absolutely hate it. I think it's annoying, and I really think that this should be fixed. So in other words, you're standing there, maybe you have an enemy just pop right up in front of you where you can go and see the red indicator that, hey, there's an enemy right here, versus just finding out the hard way and taking damage. If you ever played Archero 1, this was something we ran into with the tentacle boss. That thing was so freaking annoying when it first came out, and later they kind of adjusted it where it would come right near you and then it would shoot out the fireballs or whatever it was. So they've made the tweak in other games. They know it's annoying. I don't know why they did it in this, if it just wasn't even thought about it, but this is another great example of something that could make the quality of life better for this game. The last one is from Fiery Wind, and this is about the spring lottery event and needing it to get buffed. If you don't remember, this is where it kind of goes around the wheel. There might be some keys, some shovels, or if you're lucky, getting a shard for that ravenous chain. And for the free-to-play community out there, supposedly when we saw this one or an event like this beforehand, there was quests in there for going and opening chests with keys, and that got removed. Now, I myself, I've come to terms that this game is just an expensive game. I enjoy it. I know that things are going to be hard to get in it, but you gotta at least make it fun or enjoyable, that when an event pops up, you can at least get something from it, or at least build yourself towards that. Bud Peeler goes on to say that on average, you get about 46 keys during this event if you do everything, and that's about 18 to 1900 worth of currency, which isn't really a lot to do anything with it at all. When you compare it to other Habby games, you realize how much friendlier they are than this one right here. Like I said, I've come to terms that things are tough to get on it. It's a grind, it's a struggle, it's a whale game. I'm okay with that, but it definitely could be better. And I think they have a good point here of, if you want players to play that aren't going to spend money and keep the, game alive, then you have to at least make some tweaks to make it worthwhile for everybody. But if you want to see my Chapter 70 run, especially the third boss, you could probably pick up a couple of things just by watching that. Take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.